What is going on, guys? It's Amit, you're watching DevDreamer, and welcome to lesson 51 in our JavaScript series. In this lesson, we're going to learn all about closures. As always, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Also, be sure to ring that bell and choose all notifications so you never miss an update. Alright then guys, so welcome back to lesson 51. In this lesson, let's learn all about closures. Now, closures are notorious for confusing a lot of people, but in this lesson, I'm going to explain step by step and in clear terms exactly what they are, what they're used for, and then we'll drive this home by looking at an example. So let's begin. Understanding closures is closely related to the concept of scope. Let's first remind ourselves about scope. In our lesson on understanding scope, and I'll leave a link to it somewhere on this video, we learned that we can have global variables and local variables. Whenever we create a variable, we want it to exist within the boundaries of a certain scope. For example, if we had a result variable that was dependent upon a calculate function, it makes sense to put this variable inside of the calculate function and not outside in the global scope. Now, the script itself is in the global scope. So if I said let global var be assigned the value of string global, so this is a global variable. It's in the global scope. Functions have their own scope, and every scope has access to everything outside of its scope. For example, if I said, let's create a function, go for an arrow function, and let's just call this outer. We won't have any parameters, and inside the function body, I'm going to create another variable called outer var. I'm going to assign this to the string outer. And then finally, let's console log our global variable, and also this local variable. And then down here, if we go ahead and invoke this function, let's go ahead and save. And in the console, we get global and outer. So from within this outer function, we can access the global variable, even though it's outside of the scope, because once again, scopes have access to everything outside of their scope. Now, this wouldn't work the other way around. For example, if I tried to console log outer var, and I realize now that's probably a bit confusing because it's inside of this function, but you'll see why I've called it that in just a second. So let's go ahead and save. And this of course throws an error. We can't access this outer var variable because it's not within this global scope. So this doesn't work. Now we can also have the same variables in two different scopes. So let's just paste this in, okay? And let's save. And this returns 1 and 2. So here then we've got two functions, counter and counter2. And inside of those functions, they both have a variable called count. This has a value of 1, this has a value of 2, and then we simply console log in those values. Down here, we invoke the functions and we get 1 and 2. So this works fine. There's no clash because each count variable is inside of its own scope. These are both treated as two different and distinct variables. Okay, so that's a basic refresher on scope. Let's now see what happens, and we're going to start getting closer and closer now to understanding closures. If we have a function inside of another function, does the inner function have access to the outer function variables? Let's see. Let's go ahead and remove this. Let's create a new function, call this outer, and it will take no parameters. And in here, just like before, we're going to say let outer var be assigned the value of outer, and then we're console logging that variable. But now in addition, we're also going to have another function nested inside of this function. So we're going to say, let's just use a function declaration here. So function, we'll call this inner. Once again, no parameters. And inside this inner function, we're going to try to console log outer var. So same thing as this, like so. Now outside of this function, we're going to call or invoke the function like so. And let's see what happens. Okay, so we get outer logged in the console. Now this is coming from this console log right here, but this console log inside of our inner function isn't actually firing. Now why is that? Well, that's because all we're doing here is we're creating that function, the inner function, but we haven't actually called that function. We've only invoked the outer function. So what we need to do inside of our outer function, we need to simply invoke our inner function like so. So now if we go ahead and save, now we do get that console log. As you can see, this one's coming from line 3, so that's this one here. And this one is coming from line 6, so it's this console log here. Now what's happening here then is the outer function is created when the file is passed, but the inner function is only created when the outer function is invoked down here. this outer var variable is accessible from within the inner function because, once again, every scope has access to everything outside of its scope. Now, the technical term for this is that each function has its own lexical environment. Our inner function has its lexical environment and outer has its lexical environment. And it's this lexical environment that determines what variables a function has access to. So let's make sense of this lexical environment thing. So the lexical environment basically consists of two main parts. Number one, the environment record, which is basically an object that stores all the local variables as its properties. And then the second thing the lexical environment consists of is a reference to the outer lexical environment, the one associated with the outer code. So to relate that to our example, here the inner function's lexical environment gives it access to, of course, its own variables. So in here, let's just quickly say let inner var be assigned the value of inner, and then if we console logged inner var and save, we of course get access to that because it's within its own scope, but also to the outer function's lexical environment, the one that it's declared within. So in this example, the outer function's variable outer var. So quick recap, every scope has its own lexical environment. That lexical environment consists of a list of the variables declared within that scope, so here that would be inner var, but also a reference to the outer lexical environment, so here the outer function. And since lexical environments contain the environment record, which again is basically a reference to all the variables, this inner function then is able to access the outer function's variables. And of course, if we had something in the global scope, like a global var, then this inner function will be able to access that as well. Okay, so now that we know all that, understanding closures is going to be super simple. So what are closures? Closures are functions that are bundled together with the lexical environment within which that function was declared. In other words, we can say that an inner function, like we've got here, is a closure because it encloses or contains the variables from the lexical environment of the outer function. So a closure then is a function that remembers its outer variables and can access them. Let's take a look at a final example to really solidify this. So here, let's remove this variable, and instead of invoking this function here, let's just simply return a reference to this function. Okay, so right now if we save, we'll only get the single console log, this one up here. But now we'll see the power of closures. It's not absolutely necessary that we invoke the function here. Closures are able to remember, of course, their own lexical environment, as well as any reference to outer lexical environments from outside of this function. So whereas before we invoked the function here, because this is a closure, so we would say the inner function here is a closure. Why? Because it encloses or contains the variables from this outer function. Since it's a closure, we can use this outside. So down here then, let's store this in a variable. So I'm just going to call this my func. And just to show you, if we console log my func now and save, as you can see, this is now a reference to our inner function. And let's just remove this inner var now, so we don't have that variable. Okay. So my func is now a reference to this inner function. So what we can do now, even though we're outside of this outer function, what we can do now is we can simply say my func, invoke that function, and let's just quickly update this. Turn this into a template literal, and let's just say inner function. Let's now go ahead and save. Perfect, so we've successfully logged that to the console. So here then, we've seen that our inner function has been called from outside of the outer function, and we still have access to this outer variable. As you can see, we're logging outer in the console. Why? Because once again, our inner function is a closure. And since it's a closure, we're not limited to using this function here, but we can also invoke that function from outside of this outer function. Okay guys, so that's all about closures. Let's go ahead and summarize. So understanding closures is closely related to scope. Closures are functions that are bundled together with the lexical environment within which that function was declared. Or a simpler way to put it is a closure is a function that remembers its outer variables and can access them. And finally, it's the lexical environment that determines what variables the function has access to. Because of this, we can invoke the function from anywhere within our code and still get access to the variables in question. So like we're doing here, we're not limited to invoking the function here. We can invoke it down here, and we still get access to that outer variable. Okay, so let's take a look at your tasks for this lesson. So just a single task for this lesson. For your task, I want you to create a global variable called crust and set this to crust, a function called earth that contains the variable mantle and set this to mantle, and an inner function called message that contains the variable core and set this to core. The message function should console log the following statement: the earth is made up of the crust, the mantle, and the core. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, try this out, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the answer. So how'd you get on then? Let's see. So first of all, we need to create a global variable called crust and assign this to crust. Next, we need to create a function called earth. So I'll use an arrow function, call it earth. We don't need any parameters. And then inside this, we need a variable called mantle. So I'll let mantle be assigned the value of mantle. And then inside this function, we need an inner function called message. So const message. Okay, and that should contain the variable core. So we'll say let core be assigned the value of core. And then finally, we'll console log in the statement: the earth is made up of the crust, the mantle, and the core. So we'll say console.log. The earth is made up of the, and then we'll pull in our variables. So $, curly braces. We'll say crust, comma, the mantle, and the core. So this message function is a closure because it contains a reference to its outer lexical environment. So this one here, which contains this variable, and also the lexical environment for the global lexical environment, which contains this variable. So down here, let's just go ahead and return a reference to this. We can of course invoke the function here, but just to show you once again that with closures, you can call them from anywhere. So here we've just got a reference to this message function. And then outside here, I'm going to say let message, assign the value of earth, so our earth function. And now we can simply say message and invoke this. Now if we save, we get that statement in the console. So guys, well done on completing that task. That's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to learn all about JavaScript currying, another super important lesson. So be sure to tune in. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe down below. And of course, hit that bell and choose all notifications. And I'll see you on the next one.